It's a pleasure to have you join me on this virtual journey. Welcome, everyone, to our latest video where we'll be exploring phonological changes from Classical Latin to Proto-Romance. As Latin developed into Proto-Romance, it experienced numerous sound changes, a rough summary of which is provided below. Now, let's shift our attention to general changes. H is lost without a trace in all positions elision. If this results in a collision of identical short vowels, they simply form the corresponding long vowel. A cohort, a quarter, final M is lost in polysyllabic words elision, apocope. Menunca. In monosyllables, it tends to survive as an alveolarization. Chicken, Spanish quina clusters consisting of a stop followed by a liquid consonant draw the stress position forward. Interim, intera. Two apparent counterexamples are palpebras and palatra, judging by the Old French outcomes palpres and paltre. N is lost before fricatives elision, syncope, resulting in compensatory lengthening of the preceding vowel. Sponsor, sposa. N was often retained, or restored, if it belonged to a prefix in or conautor word which had forms where a fricative did not follow N. Defense, Frenched fence, thanks to related forms such as the infinitive defender, Frenched fendre. Sequences of two I generally merge to a single long I coalescence fusion, elision, syncope. Yodiate, concilia yodi, cocilia in some outlying rural areas, the diphthongs A and O reduced to E and O respectively in classical times monophthongization. Thanks to influence from such dialects, a number of Latin words acquire monophthongized variants early on. A forkspex or oculoscolis. Most words, however, remain unaffected by Fischelin 1965, Lloyd 1987. This citation covers the following bullet point as well. Later, mainstream Latin experiences a general monophthongization of A to and of O to E, while O remains intact in most cases. Elata, pina, orum, elerta, pina, are short vowels other than A become increasingly lax and lowered, with I-E-O-U trending towards turns to the fricative, as does original B in intervocalic position or before R. Awiwa, itrabum eia, itre. Intervocalic in contact with a rounded vowel tends to disappear elision, syncope. Ariwush, arius, arius. It is often restored if other forms of the word have a non-rounded vowel following. In this case, kf. The nominative plural ari in hiatus, unstressed front vowels became J, while unstressed back vowels became W. Ophilius, isapui, ophigus, isapua. The same process also affected stressed front and back vowels in hiatus if they were antepenultimate two syllables from the end of the word. When J was produced, primary stress shifted to the following vowel, but when W was produced, primary stress shifted instead to the preceding syllable. Filiolus, tenuarum fildolus, etenra. If W was formed after a geminate consonant, it was subsequently deleted. Abatua, abatua, abata. W was deleted before unstressed back vowels. Urcadus, anu urcad was, unmo urcadus, uno. W was occasionally deleted before unstressed non-back vowels as well. Februarius, ferorgus, ferurgus. Similarly, it was delabialized to K before back vowels, whether stressed or not. Acomodo, ikoku, acomodo, ikoko. If these changes result in sequences of IG or WO, these merge to E and O respectively monophthongization, syncope, elision. Eparites, duodecim ipogets, duodeci iparites, dodeci. If J forms after ik, the resulting ich simplifies and delabialized to ich. Erlacum, erlacu, erlacu. Word internal J merges into a preceding consonant, palatalizing it. Ercasum, ercashu, ercashu, Italian ercato. It will probably develop to respectively. Regularly geminate in intervocalic position. Does so as well, but sporadically. Intervocalic and merge with J. Afai, Aradium fea, radu foia, reduce Spanish hea, reo. A counterexample is Romanian from Vulgar Latin. Intervocalic occasionally merges with j. École, école, coyola, Old French jol. After r and n, invariably yields or. Ordin Jordu, French orge, Italian orzo. The sequence sometimes assimilates to. Aracundia, Iracunda, Portuguese Vergenha, Italian Vergena, but compare Spanish Vergenza, Old Portuguese Vergena. Initial and intervocalic j undergo fortition, perhaps to in the former case and or in the latter. U raises before I or j. Italian cu, fu not koi, foi. Before n apparently spirantized to, with subsequent developments varying by region. Before m vocalizes to u. Fragmenta and semi-fragmenta, some before or after a consonant, and also word finally, x reduces to s. Calx, sextus, cals, cestus. Intervocalically, it's sometimes metaphysized to sk. Wixit, eistit. Words beginning with isk receive an initial supporting vowel, unless preceded by a word ending in a vowel. Subsequently, any original e or before an isk cluster is reinterpreted as a supporting vowel and treated accordingly. Scola, Xgeda, Italian scola, Skeda, French ichel, Equeri and o beforest are raised, respectively, to I and U. Urbestire, Bostium urbista, Usta, Italian bisha, Arcio. Compound verbs stressed on a prefix are usually reconstructed according to their prefix-less equivalent, with stress moved accordingly. Dispact, by analogy with the simplex form apact. A recipit simply yields recipit rather than recipit, perhaps because the verb, while recognizable as a compound, was not easy to identify with the original caper. Some words, such as ercoliofasen, were apparently not recognized as compounds at all and so remained unchanged. Monosyllabic nouns ending in a consonant receive an epenthetic final e. Urin, French reen phonemic vowel length gradually collapses via the following changes which only affect vowel length, not quality. Long vowels shorten in unstressed syllables. Long vowels shorten in stressed closed syllables. Short vowels lengthen in stressed open syllables. On account of the above, the vowel inventory changes from I-I-E-A-O-O-U to I-E-A-O-U, with pre-existing differences in vowel quality achieving phonemic status and with no distinction between original A and A. Additionally, unstressed and merge with E and O respectively. In unstressed word internal position, I and U merge with and respectively. Lengthened and perhaps already yield incipient diphthongs if followed by a syllable with a close vowel I or U raising. As we progress, let's shine a spotlight on sporadic changes and examine its intricate interplay within our topic. Vowels other than A are often syncopated in unstressed word internal syllables, especially when in contact with liquid consonants or, to a lesser extent, nasal consonants or S. Genulus, Ecalida, Speculum genals, Ecalda, Splu. In a few words, unstressed initial syllables followed by our experience syncope. Eciritari, directus ecritar, idrects. If this results in being followed by a consonant, it may vocalize to U. A fabula, a fala, a for Italian fava. If syncope results in ital, the cluster is generally replaced by ical. Vertilus ercles. In cases where a long vowel precedes a geminate consonant, one of the elements often shortens unpredictably, sometimes leading to such doublets as cupacupa, upacupa, Spanish copa and cuba, French coupe and cove. Long vowels sometimes shorten early on in closed syllables, even if followed by two different consonants, leading to variations such as udecim, undecim, undicundec, Italian undici, Spanish once. Conversely, the cluster may lengthen preceding vowels early on. Epresnic vowels sporadically assimilate to, or dissimilate from, the stressed vowel of the following syllable. I can dissimilate to O before a following A. Natari notar. I can dissimilate to E before a following I. Divinus, wicinus deans, ekins. O can dissimulate to before a following you. Jostus, asculterists, ausculter. O can dissimulate to e before a following back vowel. Rotundus, sorori retens, seror. I can assimilate to a following a. Silwatica silux. E can assimilate to a following o. Renion ronon. I can assimilate to a following e. Directus direct co, and you may yield a low mid vowel if followed by. Iowum, ecolubra u, colore Italian wovu, Sardinian cura may yield a mid vowel if preceded by j. Jacteri adjutera assimilates to a following s in a number of cases. Dorsum tisu. After a long vowel, the resulting is reduces to s. Ashur samasusu. Initial ikra and ik sometimes voice. Shikrasus arasus. This is particularly frequent with borrowings from Greek. Arita, and Italian grotta, Gamben sometimes assimilates to un. The alternation grundi grun either is occasional loss or assimilation of final s, but it is nowhere regular until a much later period when two neighboring syllables each contain r. One r frequently dissimilates to l or is deleted. I love hearing from you, so leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments.